All right, welcome to the launch of my brand new Invincible Leadership live stream training. My goodness, my first time streaming on YouTube, and this was a making it just in time. So this is not going to be just some ordinary video or video series that's designed to get clicks and views. My purpose is to deliver something very powerful, something highly transformative, something that's going to make a real difference in your life, in your relationships, and in your capacity to break free from unconscious conditions that cause so much chaos and confusion in our lives. Now, I really know the sense of lack. I know limitations. I know failure, pain, and suffering intimately. But I've been blessed to find highly effective ways to transform this and really help myself and others break free and achieve their leadership goals and dreams as I continue to do so today. So the focus on these trainings is to empower you personally, relationally, and in your performance and business around succeeding as a coach, a leader, healer, teacher, anyone who's dedicated to personal development and to serving and uplifting humanity. So I'm going to invite you to stay to the end because I'm going to deliver a powerful guided awakening and activation process that you do not want to miss. As I said, I'm committed to delivering real value. I want this to be experiential for you. I'm going to be looking for your engagement, your connection. I'm going to deliver what you need to greatly expand your capacity to know yourself intimately, to bring love and compassion to the darkest parts of your soul, that inner world of mind, emotions, and body. I'm going to help you explore all of that, expand all of that in freedom. So let me share with you why this training is so very important to me, why you are so important to me, even though I may not know you. And I'm going to tell you why all humanity is also so important to me. Now, after nearly dying from a drug overdose in 1999, I was living a life of violence, crime, drug dealing, heavy drug using. I realized that something was wrong, fundamentally wrong with what I was doing, but even more fundamentally with who I believe myself to be. My identity nearly got me killed. So it was then that this opportunity presented itself. I made this radical shift in my life. I began seeking for answers to questions like, what's going to happen when we die? Because I had no heartbeat. They told me I was unconscious, and I woke up and I had no idea that I was out. I had no idea that I went unconscious, and that disturbed me quite a bit. So I started also asking questions like, what is the purpose of our existence? Like, why are we really here? I knew that what I was doing wasn't working, but I didn't know what to be doing that would be working. And I was also asking, how did we get here on this planet? Like, how did I even come into being? How did I end up also in such a crazy and confusing life and then almost die or get myself killed because, of all the pain and confusion that I was living and going through? Well, I remember kneeling and praying to a higher power, as was taught in these court-ordered AA and NA groups that I had to attend because I had been arrested in 1998 prior, a couple drug charges, felonies. Even though I didn't fully believe in a higher power, I found myself just begging for help to transform my life and promising that if I could transform my life, that I would dedicate my life to serving others if only I could have this other chance, like a different chance to do it all over again. So I found myself suddenly realizing there was an opportunity ahead of me. I turned away from all the people in my life that I knew were leading me astray. I found a small group of friends that I knew were safe. I spent time in nature. I began contemplating these questions, and I went to the library looking for answers. I studied all kinds of subjects on art, science, religion, spirituality, history, and more. And I found a book on Zen Buddhist meditation, which was this, beautiful instructional book on how to develop this Zen Buddhist practice. And I took it on, a practice that really intrigued me. It was basically sitting quietly, doing nothing but observing what is. That's it. The breath, what's happening around me, what's coming through my senses, my heartbeat, just paying attention. This began my inner exploration, my discovery of my own thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, and painful and overwhelming past experiences that I'd been through. This chain of memories began to surface that I had long been suppressing with the crime, the violence, and the drugs. Memories of my mother being severely beaten by her new boyfriend when I was only 10. I realized this moment really shattered my identity, and I developed very, very dangerous and deadly core convictions about myself, about others, about the world, that would end up leading to some very desperate attempts to escape through gangs, through violence, through crime, and through drugs. In that early moment, at 10 years old, very painful moment, finding my mother with a broken nose, finding that she was having black eyes, busted lips. I really didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know how I was going to be able to do anything in that moment. She was slumped down in front of our front door. There was so much going through my mind. I knew who did it, but I was terrified of him. He was really big. He was really scary. A part of me believed that I should have been able to protect my mom, but I knew I would fail if I tried. And that would end up getting us all hurt. And I really wasn't sure how to handle any of this. This was a nightmare. This was terrifying for me. So I decided in that moment, looking back and exploring all of these intimate moments, painful moments, that I was helpless and I felt worthless. And it was all in really like an instant of just concluding. This core conviction came over me that something was wrong with me, that I'm wrong fundamentally, that I'm powerless, that I'm never going to be enough. Not only did I carry this burden that was super heavy and all this fear that was in my heart, but my mother got pregnant with this man and she decided to stay with him, and this ongoing abuse. So now I'm looking forward to a future that's not looking very great. So this all happened at around the summer of right before 6th grade, actually. I was about to attend a new school where I had no friends. I didn't know anybody. Brand new school, public school. And I now realize I'm all alone. I'm on my own in this school, and I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about the people, and my home life was a freaking nightmare. My inner world was very dark. It was super scary, not knowing when the violence was going to pop off. I felt like I had no voice. There was no help. There was no safety. So there was violence everywhere in this school also. And the violence found me very quickly. I started being bullied by multiple people randomly. I found myself cornered over and over with only one choice, in my view, was to fight. There was really nowhere to run. There was nowhere to get away from all of this. I had to go to school every day, so I fought. And soon, word got around, and I was invited to join this gang through a friend of mine who knew that, I was looking for support. This was the last day of school, 7th grade, so I joined. I ended up having to fight 5 kids who beat me up really freaking good. And thinking back, it's like, wow, how could 7th graders, some of them should have been 8th and 9th graders, but the ones that were there, but how could this even happen? How could people do what they were doing? But that's what happened, right? The initiation, and I took a beating, and now I'm in this gang. So suddenly I feel like I belong. I got power, and I started to be more connected with the powerful people on school, in school grounds. So to me, this is, what I had to do to make it. From there, life continued toward more violence, more fighting, then crime, then drugs, and then almost death, as I mentioned earlier, in 1999. So all this inner exploration, the recall of my past, and my willingness to surrender to a power greater than myself opened up an ability in me to understand how our suppressed and ultimately repressed thoughts and repressed emotions and feelings, especially the painful ones, that severely are affecting our self-image, our identity, our perception of people, and the whole world at large. It also affects how we behave and the results that we're producing in our lives. There's a science to how human beings function, and we can actually use this or understand this to alter our lives when we discover the science and apply it. Now, I'll talk about this in a future live stream, but the law that I've discovered, and I put it into words like this: perception, human perception, precedes our performance and our production. How we perceive anything in our lives determines how we're going to perform, how we're going to act and behave, the quality of that performance even, and also our production, like what results we produce. Okay? This is a law. No one can escape it. It happens everywhere, all the time, in every human being, 100% of the time. And by understanding this becomes a powerful key to unlock our inner world and transform our perception, and therefore our performance, and therefore our production, which I've been able to do time and time again in the last 26 years since that, fateful day in 1999. So now move forward a little bit to the year 2000. Something extraordinary occurred. I was seeking this direct experience with absolute truth, something I had read about, and it was like a nice idea. I also knew about having this possible encounter with the divine, as described in a book called The Celestine Prophecy. And, when I read that, I was like, wow, I really want that experience, whatever that is. I still didn't really believe in God. I didn't have any religious affiliation or background whatsoever. I was really anti-Christian, not into the Bible. I studied other religions because I was curious about them because I had not heard them. I heard a little bit about Christianity growing up as a kid, but I just wasn't interested. It was just words. I wanted an experience. And I wanted to have this direct knowing of God, basically, if God was real. And I wanted to be able to see the origins of our existence because I wanted to understand, where did we come from, right? Like, what's the source of all of this? So I'm a highly skeptical person by nature, but I pursued this regardless, right? I had this consistent determination, but I also had this skepticism. For me, blind faith is not enough. It's not even an option. I want to know directly. It's just the way I am. On a day that I had dedicated to meditating and seeking like this answer to what is absolute truth, well, I started to get this strange feeling in my stomach, like I was about to realize the very presence of God, like as if I was gently being nudged or guided, tapped on my shoulder. And then all of a sudden, as I hit the bottom of the stairs, I was coming down the stairs, it happened. My vision completely shifted suddenly from this outer awareness that was like normal, seeing my foyer, right, and the door in front of me, to somehow staring into the very center of my being. I was filled with light. I fell to my knees. I was in the full presence and the experience of the being of beings. There are many words I could put to this, but I can just tell you it's way beyond anything. I was experiencing the life eternal, the life that is immortal. It was just a knowing and a reality, absolute knowing of our origin and our destiny. I was fully attuned, fully aware, and I knew this better than I knew anything about my previous history. I realized that we literally, every single human being, literally are this invincible being that lives and dwells at the very center of us, right at our core. There was this infinite certainty resonating throughout my whole body, right? It was more like this remembering rather than some kind of new discovery. And it was like, oh my God, of course. I found it hysterical that I actually had believed only a few minutes ago that I'm this mortal human being who, had a life of chaos and pain and all this other stuff. It was as if life is some kind of cosmic joke that we're all destined to wake up from. There was just this strange recognition. Like, I knew I'd been here before. I knew that this is where I come from. And I wasn't experiencing myself as an individual as normal human experience goes. This was cosmic. It was transcendent. It was beautiful. And it was out of this world, literally. And yet here I was still through this body experiencing it. Just my ordinary mind was not there. I was seeing differently, knowing differently, experiencing differently. And that encounter is what brings me here today. My passion, my purpose, my mission is to bring people into that realization. Ultimately, it was the greatest experience of my life. I want to share it with everyone. I want us all to be able to experience it. And, I know that it's not about me alone in that moment. I knew it was everybody. I knew this was a universal reality. It's everyone's light. It's everyone's being. I just got witness to something that is directly at the center of us that I previously had been so distracted and blinded by. God knows everything that was blinding and distracting me. My history, my pain, my identity, my fears, all my ego, all of that stuff was getting in the way. Now, when I tried to share this with people, I ran into all kinds of resistance, as you can imagine. All I could say is, we're all God. And that doesn't go over very well with people who have certain opinions and beliefs about God. And, whether it's religious people or non-religious people, that sounds kind of crazy. But understand, I'm 21 and a half, maybe 22 actually. And I barely, just coming out of a life of crime and drug dealing, and the people around me knew what I had been living because I had started to sober up and, I was getting my life on track, and they thought I was nuts. And even newer people thought I was crazy. So Naturally, I realized the resistance is going to be there, but it was a little discouraging at first. And I was wondering, like, why don't we remember? Well, then I realized where I was before the miraculous awakening. I was trapped in all this unconscious pain. I was trapped in my confusion, my self-condemnation, which later got more complicated, my distorted identity, and my lifestyle based on me trying to escape my painful and very difficult past, of course. I realized in that moment, people were still under their own version of what I had just described. Everyone has a past. Everyone has some self-sabotaging core convictions, even if their life wasn't as crazy and chaotic as mine was. I began to see patterns as many people began showing up and opening up to me. The breakthroughs that I was having allowed me to share with others in a way that started setting them free. And this brought me immense pleasure and excitement. It made sense of my painful past and became this fuel for continuing to serve people the way that I get to today. This is how my leadership journey began. And it's why I'm here with you right now. It's why all of humanity matters to me. And it's why I'm dedicated to training and equipping you, people like you, and also new aspiring or seasoned leaders anywhere and everywhere who can really contribute, who care to help other people break through these invisible forces that are perpetuating suffering. So thanks for allowing me to share my story and my passion with you. This is the foundation of the Invincible Kingdom movement. And my purpose is to reveal and to expand the reality of the Invincible Kingdom within you and among and within all human beings. So first and foremost, let's kick off what these live stream trainings are going to be like going forward. That was my introduction. Now we're going to dive into this training as soon as I lay down some of the foundations of what these are about. This is a space for engagement and transformation. The more engaged you are, the more participatory you are, the more this stuff is going to work inside of you, the more you're going to understand it, the more you're going to get it, and the more it's going to make a difference in your life. So I would love for you to participate. Drop a comment, share insights. Most importantly, take the actions that you see, that you realize, right, through the training as we're going through this, because I'm going to be delivering very practical, workable material for you, okay? We're here to actually sharpen each other, to grow each other, and to stand as a force of truth in a world of confusion and fear. So your comments matter. Other people are going to see it for years to come because these videos are going to be left on YouTube. So don't be afraid. Your voice matters. My purpose is to wake your voice up, to empower your voice, to expand your voice, to cause your voice to come alive in an even greater way than it ever has been before. So your engagement here matters. Your commenting matters. I'll be reading those, and any questions that you have matter. Now, here's a quick summary of the purpose of these live streams, my mission, and what you can expect every single week. Basically, my purpose is number one, to awaken, to equip, and to empower leaders by helping you realize the fundamental, the universal, and invincible truth of who and what you are. So comment leader if you know that this is your purpose here in life, to wake up to this reality and to experience yourself as a leader going forth, bringing light to humanity. I'm also here to forge a community of unstoppable men and women who support and enrich one another, because we can't do this alone. And who are here to spread the good news of our union with this invincible life that I shared about in my discovery and my story at the beginning of this live stream. I'm also here to embody with you together this universal truth. We want to get it in the body, right? So that we can lead with clarity, lead with courage, and lead with conviction. It must be experiential. Our convictions are born out of our experiences, right? Those are the most powerful ever. I'm also here to deliver engaging, empowering, enriching content that's going to expand you every single week going forward. So what you can expect is not just conversations and me sharing. These are actually activations. They will activate within you insights into your own history, insights into the inner workings of your mind, emotions, and somatic conditions. Okay, my language is going to open up a space for you to see a little bit more clearly what has been invisible. That's a big part of my purpose here. So comment activation if you're here to be activated. All right. I want to know who's live with me on this. And when you comment activation, also consider that activation means not just what I'm sharing here. It's going to be these awakening and activation processes that I deliver at the end of each training. So a guided process that will be relevant to the topic at hand, that's empowering, it's expansive, that allows you to clear and dissolve conflicting forces that are operating in your mind, emotions, and body, and also capture a new vision of a future that's not hooked into your past, so that you can begin to see or perceive, as I said, perform differently and have different production. Perception precedes performance and production. We're going to be operating by that law of human functioning and human being every single time that we're doing this training. So you have that opportunity. All right. I'm also going to be delivering content that's going to challenge you. It's going to inspire you. It's going to call you higher. All right. Leadership is about correcting ourselves, adjusting where we're out of integrity with our power, adjusting where we're out of integrity with our authority, adjusting where we're out of integrity with our authenticity, our vulnerability, our weaknesses, our shortcomings. We got to bring light to that. We need to start telling ourselves the truth and tell each other the truth, or we're never going to step into power. One of my mentors said that the most powerful person in the room is the person who has nothing to hide. I'm going to share my stories with you shamelessly. My failures, my breakdowns in relationship, all the way up till recently. None of it's going to be hidden from you so that you can see that it's powerful to share vulnerably and authentically. There's no shame in failure and mistakes. When we can't talk about it, we can't learn from it. When we can't talk about it, we can't heal. We're only as sick as our secrets, so we got to break through that. All right? So you're going to have a chance to break free from inner limitations and also relationship limitations, performance limitations, business and leadership and coaching income limitations. Okay. We're going to talk about different things around marketing and business, sales, engagement, authentically, right? In a compassionate, connecting way. You're going to be able to step into your purpose more powerfully than ever. You'll get connected with and able to be a part of this thriving community of other leaders that serve and support each other. I've got a great team in training with me now. There's going to be people that start to join and grow and collaborate on this YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And if you do like this video, consider liking it. Help me grow this, because I want to reach more people to transform the globe. I also hope to empower you to participate in that mission, right? As many people as possible that want to get up and start sharing in a way that leads people back to the truth of who we are at our core. I'm going to talk about more of that in this live stream. So let's get connected. Let's serve and support each other. And if you're here, it's because something inside of you is calling you to more, to be more, to do more, and also to have more. But as I like to say, transformation and success happens from the inside out. When my inner world was conflicted and corrupted, so was my outer world. Right? When my inner world was conflicted and corrupted, my relationships didn't work. Found myself in a lot of chaos there. And it looks like it's out there. It really does. But I eventually found that there was something in me always attracting what was going on in my world, bringing the people into my life, the situations, circumstances, everything was controlled from within. And when I was finally willing to look at it all and see what I had been hiding, because there's a lot of pain inside of my heart, my body even. And because I didn't want to look at that, there was a lot of invisible forces running and controlling me in ways that I really did not enjoy. That caused me a lot of problems. And I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about. And if you do, I'd be happy to hear from you about it. Comment it below. Right here, right now, we're going to take this first step together, and I'm going to take a sip. I appreciate you being here. My sugar-free kombucha. So let's continue forward on today's foundational topic. The title is Transcending Self-Illusion and Slavery, Unveiling Your Invincible Image. So transcending self-illusion and slavery, unveiling your invincible image. So think about this title for a minute. Transcending self-illusion and slavery. I mean what I say. It's a very important topic. Transcending self-illusion and slavery. It's not a joke. It's for real. Okay? And this self-illusion we'll explore a little bit more intimately here. Slavery, to me, means being controlled by unconscious invisible forces within. The ones that I mentioned earlier, the ones that I mentioned about my own story that I discovered later upon reflection. That self-illusion, who I think I am, that I'm really not, which is really trying to escape, all of that was controlling my life. I was a slave. I pretended to be tough. I pretended to be free, but I wasn't. And then there's this unveiling your invincible image part of the title. And that's what I shared about in the second part of my story, that discovery, the awakening, the realization of that which we really, truly are. My purpose is that we can break free from the slavery, the self-illusion, and discover and realize this invincible image within. So my story, plus 25 years of active research, application of what it was that I was learning, making plenty of mistakes, working with other people effectively, right? Also having failures and breakdowns in relationships like crazy, right? All of this was part of my discovery, my learning, and it reveals that my qualifications for speaking on this topic are sound. Okay, I've done a lot of work around all of this within myself, with other human beings, and I've owned my mistakes fully and completely. And that's key to really learning and growing in wisdom. And it's more of what our world really needs right now, more than ever before, because if we don't start stepping into this type of authenticity and leadership, we're going to destroy ourselves completely. The world is actually in crisis and conflict right now. People are starving for truth in a very confusing and a chaotic landscape. They're also suffering this seemingly inescapable conflict and chaos within themselves. If you talk to somebody long enough, you'll find out most people are disturbed, they're unsettled, they're unhappy, they're dissatisfied. But they're craving, even if they're not conscious of it, they're craving this clear and this powerful leadership to direct them into freedom and out of chaos, out of that conflict, out of confusion, whether in their environment, right? If they're experiencing like relationship breakdowns, job complications, or other world things that are happening that are destroying, their sense of well-being, or whether they want to break free from something happening within their mind, emotions, and body because they're just experiencing a lot of inner turmoil. This is our opportunity to step up, to rise, and to shine. Without leaders like you and me stepping into our power and opening the way for humanity to transform, we will all succumb to the gravity of these destructive forces that are in the world around us and also working inside of us. We have to overcome them now. We have to overcome them right now. But how are we going to do this? Well, first we need to answer this important question. This question that I myself asked when I got myself in this serious trouble. I said, what is the real source of this chaos, this confusion, this conflict? Right? What's really causing it? Because unless we can identify the cause, we're just dealing with symptoms. And if you deal with symptoms, it's like cutting the top of a weed off. The roots are still there, and that weed's going to grow back right away. I want to pull things up from the roots. I needed to do it in my own life. But how do we do that? What is at the root of all human lack, limitation, failure, and suffering? Is it an easy question to answer? Maybe not an easy question to answer, but the answer is actually simple. I would love for you to comment on what you think the root cause is. What do you think is really causing human beings to be in conflict, to be suffering, to be failing? The one thing. Comment if you got something. Here's what I've discovered. It really is only one thing. And I'm going to share that with you in a moment. And it's a discovery that I've made after devoting my entire life to trying to understand what the root of my problems and other people's problems are, but more importantly, to understanding what can actually set me and other people free. And in that discovery, the excitement was born to share this with the world. So here's some questions for you. What do you see happening in the world right now that makes you feel like something is deeply wrong? Like, take a moment to connect in your experience. This is a training for you. I don't want you to be a passive listener. I want you to investigate your life, your concerns, so you can work through them while I'm moving through this training with you. What do you see happening in the world right now that makes you feel like something is deeply wrong? Maybe it's on a global scale. Maybe it's in your own home. Maybe it's in your community. Maybe it's in one of your groups that you belong to. Think about that for a minute. If you want to share it, feel free to comment that, because I would love for us to engage and be communicative about these things, to share, to get to know each other. And when we share vulnerably and authentically, it works. Now, if you're new here and that's not comfortable, no pressure, but the invitation is there and I'm interested. I would love to know about you. And I know other people will too, because when we share our experience with others, it helps other people realize that they're not alone. So feel free to do that. Now, have you ever felt like you were meant for something bigger, but you're not actually sure how to step into it? Like, you know, you have a bigger dream, but something seems to be in the way. You maybe even you're actively working towards it every day, but it doesn't seem to come to fruition. Is that you? What would real freedom actually look like for you in your life? Who are you being? What are you doing? What are you having? These are important questions, and you don't have to answer them right now. If you have an answer and you want to share that and you want to comment that, feel free to do so, but you don't have to. You're not obligated to do anything like that. But I am asking you to consider it. I am asking you to get conscious of it. I am asking you to think and to come into awareness of it so that you can see and figure out what it is that's going on for you. All right, the Healing Diva's in the house. So you can write out these answers separately or you can comment them. Either way, I invite you to explore, journal, get deep with yourself, okay? Because we're going to have real conversation that takes you where you need to go. Now I'm going to explore the problem, the real problem that's going on in the world, this hidden plague of humanity, right? So what is this singular problem underlying all of our suffering that I was asking about a little bit earlier, right? I already illustrated it with my own story, but I'm going to language it right now. It turns out to universally be a deeply buried sense of self-negation. It's an invisible wound that's anchored in pain. And then a decision that I'm not enough, I don't matter, I'm worthless, helpless, not strong enough. But self-negation is the core cause of all the conflict, the chaos, and the crazy in the world. It's what gives rise to every reactive action that's destructive and harmful. There's self-negation at the core. I know this is a science for me. I've been working with people for 25 years now or so to actively discover all of this and to see what's really there. And universally, no matter who I'm working with, no matter where they are, no matter what part of the world, from Africa to Europe to people in Asia that have come that I've served, people in Australia, there's people everywhere in all walks of life, rich and poor. There's this common self-negating core conviction that is the root cause of all human problems. And we have to get to the bottom of this. There's a pain there, and this pain, it gives rise to a series of core convictions like, I am bad and wrong. I'm worthless, I'm helpless, I don't belong, I'm not wanted, I'm all alone, and no one's going to come help me. Basically, all of that equates to what I call as self-negation, these core convictions. So I would love for you to comment if you relate to any of those and which ones you relate to the most. I'm bad and wrong, I'm worthless, I'm helpless, I don't belong, I'm not wanted, I'm all alone, no one can help me, or anything else. Any kind of self-negating conviction that you may have had. These core convictions hold that pain that we've been through, and they ultimately interpret that pain and death are our final realities. They're like this deep conviction that we're never going to escape the fate of pain and death. They've become a death sentence in themselves that drove us into literally a kind of death row, awaiting our inevitable execution. This is the nightmare that's secretly running in everyone's life, secretly controlling us, driving all of the world's evils and destruction, and even our own. When I look at all the chaos in my own relationships, everything that drove that was this simple self-negation, this fear connected to a pain of not being enough, not being good enough, not being wanted, not being like, and afraid of losing myself, my life, and feeling that pain all over again. And so I would cause all kinds of chaotic problems, just like everyone else does, to try and get away and escape this pain. People are desperate to survive the pain, and the fear of death is what drives them to greed and selfish desperation that is hurting so many people. This core wound has infected everyone. It's a deep deception buried beneath years of self-preservation efforts. Everybody's got it to some degree or another. We end up compensating for it. We distract ourselves from it. We hide from it. It's just running rampant. Well, here's how we run from ourselves more specifically, right? How we run from the truth of who we are and try to escape this thing that we have believed we really are, that not really is it true, but we have a core conviction about it. We end up chasing success, power, and control and money, like I did as a gangster, drug dealing criminal, right? Hoping that we're going to finally find what makes us feel like we're enough. I never found it there. Or we obsess over being right and perfect or physically attractive, desperate to get the validation of other people. We throw ourselves into helping or rescuing others, even to the point of martyrdom, just to feel worthy. And I know this one really well. Just to feel worthy, just to feel worthy, just to feel good enough. I'll give my life so that they can be happy, because if they're happy, then I'll be happy. We also rebel, striving to be different or unique, but secretly we're actually fearing that we are nothing inside. We end up overanalyzing, worshiping our intellect, our mind, and all the content therein. We're hiding in knowledge to avoid the pain that we feel inside. And so we deny what's going on. We dismiss it. We disguise it. We're doing everything in our power to ensure that no one, not even ourselves, ever sees the part of us that we're most ashamed of. Because deep down, we're really terrified and we are really hurt. So we strive and we exhaust ourselves in desperation, all because of that deep down feeling and conviction that we are not enough, that we're never going to be enough. And something is really wrong with who and what we are fundamentally. It's exhausting to live this way. I'd love for you to comment if you can relate in any way, shape, or form. You don't have to, but write some things down as well. What's opening up for you? You can journal or comment, as I said before. And then we're going to get into the solution. There really is only one real cure. There's only one thing that's going to set us free from this devastating deception that we all carry within. Only one thing that's going to dissolve the nightmare at its root, and that is the truth. The truth. Now, I know that sounds simple. Here's what I know. Here's what I've seen. Here's what I see every day. Most people are lying to themselves. I work with people intimately every day. I work with myself intimately every day. I have found myself filled with lies, believing lies, and finally getting real about those. And it made a difference. Unless we get authentic about what's inauthentic about us, we can't be free. We're all living a bunch of lies, and some of our lies look really, really good. We need the truth, but not as a concept, not as a belief. It has to be a direct experience and an active willingness to get real, to get raw, to get vulnerable. We need to have this direct experience of truth as a practice, or the core conviction is going to continue to have power over us. Why? Because the core conviction was based not on a direct experience of the truth, but it was based on a direct experience of pain. And then we formed a series of beliefs, fears all around that pain. And those became a very serious conviction because they were an experience. And to try and overcome that deep, unconscious, painful experience and the convictions coming with it, with just a concept, it isn't going to work. We need to experience truth. So I told you about this revelation I had that changed everything. Maybe experiencing the truth, practicing truth sounds too good to be true. Maybe it's too out of this world. Maybe you think you're already in the truth, that you tell the truth. I guarantee you, if you're really willing to take a look at your life right now, there's a lot of lies that you're telling yourself. If you're just willing to check and see, am I really honest about everything with the food that I eat, the way that I eat, the amount of food that I eat? right? With my relationship to life itself and my understanding and knowing of the universe. Am I aware? Am I clear? Am I conscious? We hide so much from ourselves and we don't even know that. But until we start uncovering those lies and what we're hiding, we can never discover what the truth really is. And we can never really be the truth. And you can forget about invincible leadership, because to be an invincible leader means to live in and as the truth to the best of your ability. I know I'm not some woo-woo guy. I'm not into all this like fluffy, supernatural, spiritual, extra dimensional, whatever stuff. But I experienced something that changed my life forever. I didn't have any religious affiliation. I rejected most religious concepts, Christianity for sure, the Bible, every conventional idea of God, because I wanted to experience the reality for myself if it was real. Just reading other people's words wasn't doing it for me. And then, as I mentioned, in the year 2000, everything changed. And it was a radical awakening. And then I want to impart that to other people. But I was seeking something. Remember, I said what I was seeking was absolute truth. That's what I wanted more than anything else. So why does this matter now more than ever? For 25 years, I dedicated my life to understanding how we can discover this reality, this truth of who we are. And more importantly, to finding a way to be able to lead others into this realization for themselves as much as possible. So I'm here to guide you into direct, undeniable experience. I'm here really to create scientists of truth, not blind followers. I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. I'm looking for you to hear what I'm saying, to get curious about what I'm saying, to not just resist and doubt it, but I also don't want you to just believe it either. I would like you to take a journey with me, to explore with me, to experiment with me. So truth is the ultimate cure for the world's pain, but it sounds a lot easier than it really is. And there's a lot of work that goes into uncovering the truth in ourselves. So let me create with you a simple guided activation, this awakening and activation process. Let's take a few minutes to go deeper within ourselves and to explore our inner world. So I invite you to sit up if you can. If you're not driving, to close your eyes and just be with the words for a little bit. Okay, we're going to create an experiment together where you can explore your inner world, where you can explore the truth for yourself. I'm going to provide guidance so that you can look, so that you can feel, so that you can be with your inner being. This is going to give you an experience, and no one can tell you what it's going to be, not even me. All I can do is guide you to look and to discover. So I'm inviting you to get curious with me, to close your eyes if you can, to just be in the body, feel into the breath, feel into this moment, allowing everything to be just as it is. Noticing whatever you're noticing, whatever thoughts are present, whatever feelings are present. Can you allow yourself to soften the body? Can you release tension around the head, the face, the neck, and the chest, down through the belly, all the way down through the back and the legs and the feet? And let's breathe through the nose, nice and deep, letting the belly expand. And then through the mouth out, through the nose in, mouth out, nose in, mouth out, nose in. We're going to hold this breath at the top. Just hold that breath in, relax the body, swallow your saliva, and just feel the saliva run down to the belly. Just pay attention to it. Keep holding the breath gently. Good. Make your lips no pinhole. Slowly exhale, releasing the air. And notice whatever you notice. We're going to explore the inner world, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own emotions, the sensations that are happening in the body. Just pay attention to whatever is and begin to welcome the sense of safety, maybe a sense of support, that you're supported, that you're not alone in this moment, that you're safe. And if you can, give that experience to yourself. You can bring your right hand to your heart, left hand to lower abdomen. Just love into your body through your hands as best you can. Welcoming the sensations of the body with love and compassion. Welcoming your thoughts, no matter what's present. Just let them be here. This is a time where you get to let go and allow everything to be. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to stress over. There's only an observation to be made. And notice how it feels just to witness and to look, to behold this inner kingdom of yours. The invincible kingdom is within you, but we need to see where you're not feeling so invincible, where you're not convinced that you're invincible. There are parts of you that haven't felt strong, that haven't felt tough, that haven't felt capable or competent. It happens to all of us, and it's okay. The secret to freedom is to learn to love these parts and to welcome these parts. Notice if there's any stress, any conflict, any tension in your world, your life, and welcome and allow it to be here. Be gentle and loving to yourself. Let it be present. Notice whatever is. Can you have it with a sense of love and compassion? Are there any limitations that you're present to now? Anything that you notice inside your body, your emotions, your mind? Just by witnessing and welcoming them, by seeing them as they are, being open to the truth of whatever's inside of you, you'll notice that there's a sense of spaciousness and an expanse. It starts to feel really good. If you're really experimenting with me, just allowing your world within to open and just feel. Good. So what is your vision for yourself? Who is it that you're committed to being? What really excites you? What is your vision for the world? And who are you being that makes that a possibility? Your unique expression of leadership. See that as clearly as you can. Open up to it as clearly as you can. What is your vision for yourself in the world? Good. Now take a look and see what is in the way of you being this powerful, effective leader. What stands in the way of your leadership right now? You being the cause for transformation in the world. Not just in the world at large, but even your immediate world. Your immediate relationships. What stands in the way? What's blocking you? Is there fear? Is there something outside of you that seems to be getting in the way? Maybe it's people, circumstances. This is just an observation opportunity. There's nothing to fix, and there's definitely nothing wrong. When we're looking at truth, we're not evaluating whether it's good or bad, right or wrong. We're looking to see what's really present. This gives you the ability to transform. So just welcome whatever's in the way. And what is it that you really need right now, more than anything? To be this person that you dream of being, to be more effective in the world, to be more causative for transformation, to step in your leadership, to step in your power. Good. Just take a look and see, welcome whatever you need. And can you allow yourself to receive? Even if you're not fully clear on what you need, can you be open and receptive to just receiving the power, the light, the awareness, the resources, whatever is needed, the guidance, the support? What does it feel like to be open to what's going to take you to the next level, and then being filled with that? Welcome that in. as best you can and feel it in your body. Take a breath through the nose in, mouth out, nose in, mouth out, nose in, mouth out. Good. Take a big breath through the nose in and hold. That breath supercharges you. Hold that breath in, relax the body, swallow your saliva again. Imagine your saliva is like the seed of that vision being planted deep into your body, that you're embodying the seed. Let it fall down into your belly. Relax a little more, lips into a pinhole, slowly release the air through a pinhole. Just release, let go, relax, just be. Just be for a moment. Good. Love for you to comment anything that you're noticing in that experience, anything that opened up for you. If you like, if you feel free, at least write something down for yourself. Okay, we want to deepen this awareness and the engagement with what you're discovering in the inner world. The power is within you. The kingdom is within you. And we are here to restore the invincible kingdom within you, to overcome what has been overcoming that invincible beingness that is at the very center of your existence. Okay? I promise you that it's there. No matter how you feel, no matter what you're going through, this power is present in you. And if you stick with me through these trainings, through this work, you can overcome and succeed. Okay? The answers are within. What you're looking for is within. The power and the unlimited, invincible being that you truly are is within. And once you are aware of that, once you recognize this truth of what you are, you're going to begin to live from that as a source, and the world around you will change. So if you're feeling the call to leadership, let me share with you what is available also going forward. When you register for this training, you get access to a couple different free training resources, 21-day Invincible Leadership Accelerator, and you also get access to my Invincible Leaders training guide. And it's an acceleration of this journey of leadership. It's the foundational principles, the frameworks, the distinctions. You definitely want to check those out. So if you've registered, you already have access. You're going to start receiving emails with more access to the 21-day course and also the basic training guide. So take a look at all of that. I promise you it's going to open things up for you. It's very rich, very meaningful, very powerful and connected. I'm also gathering a team of leaders looking to create a tribe of people, a team that are working together to grow in their leadership and move forward. That opportunity is always here. There's no obligation. It has to be a good fit. You can learn more about it. There's a link in the description of this YouTube video. There's also links inside of the materials that I sent you if it vibes with you. This is an open space. It's by application only. It's for people who really resonate with this work and want to step into leadership and earn income while they're learning and growing with a great team where they can be open and vulnerable together. So that's available. But most of all, we're building this brotherhood and sisterhood, this force of truth in the world by us being it within ourselves and then being it as a tribe of truth. And that's going to start to overflow into the world. As we're able to be in the truth together with each other, that truth is going to magnify and we're going to develop habits of living in the truth. And as we live in the truth, that truth will be expressed and the truth brings light and it helps dispel and overcome illusions. So this is for those who are ready to embody, to express, and to be empowered in truth. So this is where leaders are forged. The forge is where we purify and we shape and mold and shape ourselves and refine ourselves and then temper like the steel. We make it hard and somewhat flexible so it doesn't break or brittle. And then we sharpen the weapon that we're meant to be as a weapon of truth, as a tool for transformation. Just like in the forge where they work with metal and make all kinds of weapons or tools. We need both in life. And you are a weapon. You are a tool of truth. This is where illusions are shattered. This is where transcendence becomes a reality, not a concept. So check in the comments or check the link, I'm sorry, in the description, not the comments, and you can find more information about how to go deeper with all this work. There's plenty of free materials coming your way if you've registered for this training, and you can train if you like with a tribe, and you can earn, like I said, while you learn in a very safe, supportive, and empowering environment that will challenge you to be the best version of yourself. Now, continue coming to these live streams. The time is now for you to lead regardless. Wherever you do it, or however you do it, I would love to serve you if you feel called to participate with me. The world needs you awake though, no matter what. So drop Invincible Leader in the comments if you feel a call to Invincible leadership within yourself and you're ready to rock it in the world. I would love to know that that's you. Get connected, to know that you were here, and make a powerful declaration to be who you truly are. Okay? So one last time, if you have not already registered for the ongoing weekly live streams, that link is in the description of this video, and you'll get those free bonuses. Everything's listed there. It doesn't cost you anything but some time to invest. But I promise you, I will make this training very valuable every single week. You can check out everything that's coming along the way. There's the 21-day Invincible Elite Leadership Accelerator course. It's the quest to embody sovereignty and success. And then there's the Invincible Leader's Guide, a training for accelerated influence, income, and impact. Be sure to join me next week for another Power Pack live stream video. I thank you for being here, and your comments matter. Please like and share, subscribe, whatever feels right in your heart. Help me grow this channel, help me support others, and God bless you. I'll see you soon.